Hi everyone, and welcome to the Daily Citizen News Update. This week we're covering multiple stories, from whether you can trust the polls in the upcoming election to an Ohio school district banning videos from Prager University. But our top breaking news story is the second and final presidential debate between former Vice President Joe Biden and President Donald Trump. The two candidates met last night in Nashville, Tennessee for the most anticipated debate of the 2020 campaign. For the first time in modern history, the debate commission used new rules to impose order. The opposing candidate was muted for the first 2 minutes while the candidate receiving the question responded. This helped prevent interruptions and led to a much more productive exchange between the two men than we saw in the first debate. Moderated by Kristen Welker of NBC News, the debate covered 6 topics, including the coronavirus pandemic, American families, race in America, national security, climate change, and leadership. Vice President Biden's opening salvo came in the response to President Trump's handling of the coronavirus.
220,000 Americans dead. If you hear nothing else I say tonight, hear this. Anyone who's responsible for not taking control, in fact, not saying I take no responsibility initially, anyone who's responsible for that many deaths should not remain as President of the United States of America.
Not to be deterred, President Trump responded by sharing about his experience with the virus and also discussed the need to reopen schools.
And you know, I caught it. I learned a lot. Great doctors, great hospitals. And now I recovered. 99.9% of young people recover. 99% of people recover. We have to recover. We can't close up our nation. We have to open our school, and we can't close up our nation, or you're not going to have a nation.
Throughout the course of the evening, both men did their best to articulate their visions for the country.
You keep talking about all these things you're going to do, and you're going to do this, but you were there just a short time ago, and you guys did nothing.
We did.
You know, Joe, I ran because of you. I ran because of Barack Obama, because you did a poor job. If I thought you did a good job, I would have never run.
There were some surprising moments, though, including a new policy announcement from Vice President Biden, who announced that if elected, he would move to eliminate fossil fuels, specifically the oil industry.
False.
Would you close down the oil
By the way, I
industry?
would transition from the oil industry, yes.
Oh,
I would
that's
transition.
a big statement.
It is a big statement.
That's a big
because
statement.
I would stop
Why would you do that?
because the oil industry pollutes significantly.
I see.
And here's the deal. But
That's
you
a
can't
big
do that.
statement.
Well, if you let me finish the statement, because it has to be replaced by renewable energy over time. Over time.
For more video and highlights of the debate, visit the Daily Citizen and check out our recap of last night's big moments. Well, with just 11 days to go until the presidential election, many are looking to the polls to determine the status of the race. What are those polls saying, and can they be trusted? With more on that story, Zach Metler.
We still have 11 days until Election Day, and over 40 million Americans have already cast their ballots. A recent poll found that Republicans are far more likely to vote in person on Election Day by a margin of 80% to 40% compared with Democrats, who are more likely to vote either by mail or early in person. But in many swing states, Republicans seem to be showing up in greater numbers than expected. In Michigan, with nearly 1.7 million ballots already returned, Democrats and Republicans are tied, with nearly 40% of the vote going to Democrats and 40% going to Republicans. Now, over in Wisconsin, according to early voting data, Democrats and Republicans are again tied, with voters from both parties having cast 39% of the vote. However, Democrats are leading the early vote in Iowa, Florida, North Carolina, and Pennsylvania. Now, it is striking that in several of the most crucial states that will likely decide the outcome of the election, Republicans are keeping pace with Democrats in the early vote. Now, these numbers will continue to change as voters cast their ballots over the next 11 days, but according to some, we may be headed towards the highest voter turnout in a century. To learn more about where the election stands at this point, check out my article over at thedailycitizen.org.
Finally this week, should the conservative educational video series PragerU be available as a resource to students and teachers in public schools? With more on that story, Jeff Johnston.
An Ohio high school teacher was giving extra credit to students who watched videos from PragerU. The teacher had them answer questions about how the videos challenged their thinking. That's some of what education is supposed to do, right? expose students to new ideas, challenge their thinking, guide them to search for the truth, and help them think critically about different issues. A mom complained to the high school principal, and the videos were removed from the curriculum. HuffPost reported that the mom sent an email saying, "It's alt-right propaganda." PragerU videos are presented by experts in different fields and have 4.2 billion views. Now Focus on the Family supports parental rights and their involvement in education, but we also favor reasoned, accurate discussion of subjects. What the mom did here was to smear Dennis Prager with a false accusation and stifle discussion. Alt-right groups are white supremacist, racist, and anti-Semitic. Dennis Prager is a scholar and a thinker. He's an observant Jew who studies the Hebrew Bible and writes about ethics, the Bible, and anti-Semitism. He's hardly an anti-Semite. Ironically, the mom, HuffPost, and the school did what Prager says far-left activists always do. Instead of searching for the truth, they stifle discussion and smear people.
Thanks, Jeff. Those are the top stories our team is covering this week. Be sure to visit thedailycitizen.org for more breaking news and election updates, and we'll see you next time.